Welcome to this meditation on empathy. In order to offer compassion to another being, we first need to truly notice and feel their suffering. Empathy is our capacity to resonate with the feelings of another. When we have an aspiration to be of benefit to others, empathy is the catalyst that is needed to generate compassion for a specific person. Empathy may arise naturally, such as the feeling of happiness that arises within us in the presence of another who is smiling, or the resonance we feel in the presence of someone who is obviously suffering. Sometimes empathy does not naturally arise. We may not even notice that the other person is suffering, and instead, perhaps just see this person in a narrow and one-dimensional light, perhaps as a jerk or other negative label. In these situations, doing meditations on empathy by putting ourselves into the shoes of the other can generate understanding and open our hearts to the causes and conditions that are creating the behavior of this person. Compassion will naturally arise when empathy arises. Now I invite you to bring to mind someone that you have a difficult relationship with. See them clearly before you, perhaps sitting across from you. Allow yourself to be aware that this person has a life that may extend far beyond your experience of him or her. A story that runs just as deep as yours, that is filled with their own hopes, their own dreams, their own fears, and their own struggles. As you see this person before you, picture them going through their life cycle, imagining what they might have faced and felt at each stage. First, as a newborn, born into a confusing world that they didn't understand, and totally reliant on others for life. And now, as a toddler, learning to move around the world, influenced by their family, other caretakers, and their environment. What was that world like for them? And now, as a child, entering school, making friends, and perhaps experiencing rejection. What was that like for them? And now see this person as an adolescent, struggling to define themselves and to fit in with their peers, perhaps experiencing being left out or unliked. What might their relationships with their families and others look like? How might these have shaped them? And now clearly see them as a young adult with hopes, dreams, striving to take their place in the world. Again, what types of relationships did this person have with others? And how might these have affected this person? And now see them moving through adulthood, establishing priorities, settling into a rhythm of life, experiencing successes and failures, happiness and sadness, and ultimately moving on. What was that time like for them? And now see them as an elderly person, observing their physical strength beginning to fade even as their wisdom grows. What is this experience like for this person? Can you look through their eyes and feel what they feel? And finally, see this person on their deathbed, looking back on their life and closing their eyes for the last time. This person, born with a pure mind, just like you, wants to be happy and not to suffer, just like you. Allow yourself to be filled with a kind wish that he or she may have a life filled with happiness and peace, that his or her life may be free from suffering and the causes of suffering.